Sean? Why don't you do a Bigfoot call?
Probably.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay, I'll perform.
Woo!
Dude. What's up, guys? Quick video for you today. So I'm in Ocala National Forest, hiking with Tim as usual. We are headed out to a secret spot out here to meet up with a bunch of guys from Florida Bushcraft. Surprise, surprise, I know. But yeah, it's Friday, probably about 4 o'clock, and here for the weekend. So it's gonna be fun. So man, after like 20-30 minutes of bushwhacking, we made it to this camp, and it's definitely a hidden spot. I mean, there were parts of the trail weren't even trail. Like, to give you an idea, it's if it was a game trail, it would be for possums, raccoons, not deer. That's how little there was. But my phone had no satellite reception whatsoever, but luckily Tim's did, so we were able to just kind of like, we knew on like a satellite image where we were supposed to go. We just kind of pulled that up and were able to find it. But we're here. All the guys are out swimming. A few people are here, and let's go get set up. Alright, this is cool. We're all set up. The sun's still up, which is nice. Tim's set up over there. Everybody else shelters, tons of shelters. Seems like most people are doing, you know, some type of tarp type shelter. So I'm trying out a new tent. I bought a nature hike tent specifically for short hiking trips like this, or car camping trips where I'm taking the dogs. And yeah, I'll end up doing a full review on it down the road. But as you can see, everybody's back from swimming. Lots of people hanging out, and I think it's gonna be a good night. I'm gonna see if I can talk to some of them into doing a little like Bigfoot hunting today. So tonight, rather, or tonight, and this weekend in general. So on the last trip at Compresco, we did a little bit of that. I didn't film it, but just from talking to some of the guys that actually believe in Bigfoot, I thought that it might be kind of fun to start doing some videos where we're out here and we go look to see, you know, if we see anything. Full disclosure, I don't actually believe in Bigfoot. A few people in the group do, and then a few people are 100% against it. So I think we have a pretty good mix of like healthy skeptics, absolute definitely not exists, and people that say they've seen it. So I think that should make for you know, interesting adventures, you know, night hiking and such. I'm looking for it, but I mean, you never know. Ocala's a big place, so we'll see. So what do you got there?
All right, so we have freeze-dried. I've got chicken Alfredo, spaghetti meat sauce, pork, mac and cheese. We've got fruits.
Holy crap.
Sausage gravy and biscuit.
And so you make all these, right?
Yes.
So we're starting business?
Yes, Tactical Unicorn.
Very cool.
Those are giant.
So how do you cook these?
They're already cooked, so all you have to do is add hot water, and there's instructions on each package. So this one is 2 to 3 cups of hot water, and it's fully cooked and seasoned and ready to go.
And how can people find these?
We're on Facebook right now, and our website will be up and going very soon.
Awesome. Very awesome.
Well, the one I have now is set up for riding in the water and mud.
And same
Nice.
thing. They're
So
like,
big
oh,
old
well, your
tall
service is
tires.
Like $500.
Yeah, 30-inch tires.
Yeah.
Dang. I saw a few of those driving in here.
Alright, so it's nighttime, obviously, but I think it's probably about almost 9 o'clock or 8:30, something like that. Anyway, everybody's still hanging out by the fire. I think we have 1 or 2 people still showing up. But I got a pretty good sized log and there's a tree behind me. So I think we're going to start doing some tree knocks, see if we get any Bigfoot activity. I'm guessing we probably will not, but once again, you never know, right? Okay, so nothing yet, but the night's young, and we'll see what happens. Till we go on a night hike, I'm gonna go back and just kind of hang out by the fire with the guys, and yeah, we'll get this party going. Alright, so it's like almost midnight, and I'm just gonna call it a night and go to bed. So I'm already in my tent, as you can tell. But yeah, it's been like raining on and off, so I think there's gonna be a lot of animal activity tonight anyway. So get some rest, and maybe one night hike tomorrow. So plus we have you know, morning, afternoon, all kind of stuff. So we got all weekend, so I'm not too worried about it. But so far, great time, good food, tons of people hanging out. So yeah, catch up with you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. It's like 8:30 according to Tim. Got up, made my coffee already. Haven't made any breakfast yet. Just not feeling very hungry, I don't know why. But maybe that will happen in a little bit. Everybody else is hanging out by the fire. Coffee and bacon and freeze-dried meals and all kinds of stuff going on. Last night was pretty awesome. It started raining like right when I went to bed, right after I turned the camera off. So that was awesome to fall asleep to. And I'm pleased to say that the new tent didn't leak. So this is the Nature Hike Star River 2. I can't remember if I said that earlier. I bought that specifically for short hiking trips, camping trips, where we're taking the dogs. So for any type of bag, it's a heavy tent. It's 5 pounds. Like I said, I'll do a whole review on it later. But I think the plan's going to be is to strap the Rainfly to one dog's pack and the tent body to another dog's pack. So even though it weighs 5 pounds, if you're not carrying it, it's fine. But yeah, good night overall. Overall, I like the tent, so that's good. And now I kind of want to look at a lighter weight freestanding tent for myself. So it's kind of nice to not use trekking poles for a change. But you know, this hike was only like 20 minutes in, so quarter mile, something like that. Not quite the same as when I do like 10, 15 mile days where I would absolutely never carry, you know, a 5 pound tent. So nothing but forest behind us. So it's awesome. This is like a super hidden spot, which is really, really cool. I'm into it. So not sure what we're gonna do today. I know it's only 8:30, but for some reason I'm just feeling like carving already. I guess because I haven't been carving a whole lot at home, so now I kind of got the itch. I'm just sitting in a chair drinking coffee. It's time to bust a knife out, right? Yeah, I think I might do that. Also, I'm super close to the camera. Tim got a pretty cool flag for the group. I'll walk over here so he can show it to you. Look at that. Tim, where'd you get that?
Amazon.
Amazon?
Internet.
I didn't realize Florida Bushcraft stuff was on Amazon.
Yeah, you can buy all this stuff.
Yeah. That's cool. Are you hanging it up right now?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang it up on the bear bag line I just put up.
So it started raining, so I ran under Tim's little tarp shelter setup, but the rain stopped. But anyway, made some progress on the gnome, so it's come along pretty good. And not filming the whole thing, because you guys have seen me do this on like every single camping trip. But got some wood chips in my coffee, so that's nice, little woody texture in the coffee. But yeah, I think the rain is probably going to be on and off because it's still looking a little dark. A few of the guys headed back to the cars to dump stuff and get different stuff. it's got the benefit of only being like a quarter mile away from the vehicles. And yeah, but so far it's pretty nice out.
I don't know.
All right, everybody's back from the hike, and I'm gonna call it done on the Gnome. So, definitely not my best work, but honestly, I don't care. It's good enough for a camping trip. It's pretty good. I think the kids are gonna get a kick out of it. So I gotta put some water on it to bring out the grain a little bit, and then also it seems like when I do that, it brings out any fuzzies that I've missed, so then I can go back through with cleanup. And then maybe when I get home, I'll paint it. I still haven't painted the last one. I've been lazy about painting, but yeah, good deal.
And that's what I brought to North Carolina because I kept all my gear.
All right, so I'm gonna do an early lunch. I've got a tortilla on top of my beer can, and some salami, and some cheese. So a little bit of mustard. So I didn't have breakfast, so I'm starting to get hungry. And I think everybody wants to hike out and drive to the swimming hole, probably a little bit later. So I'm gonna eat now, so that's handled. And yeah, go swimming a little bit. I got some water filtering. At some point I'll take the camera over to show you our water source. It's like this nasty little like raccoon pool over there. But some people aren't drinking it, some people are drinking it filtered, and some people are drinking it just straight, not filtered at all, which is pretty wild to me. I wouldn't do that. But he hasn't died yet, so, you know, there's that. And yeah, so I'm gonna whip this up real quick and show you what it looks like, because you've probably never seen a wrap before with salami and cheese. All right, so not too big, but quite a bit of salami, quite a bit of cheese, and a little mustard. That wins. I think I like this better than doing the tuna packs with cheese.
Not.
Yes,
Right now.
sun's not cooperating. So, check it out. Sean from Rewild showed up. So, you should subscribe to his channel. Fun fact about Sean, he sends 20 bucks to every person that subscribes to his channel. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, 20 bucks. So, not really, but you should subscribe to his channel. You probably already are. So, he's got a good channel. So, you got a new tent?
Yep, I got the Bungalows 2.0 I'm going to be trying out.
So, we were talking about fatwood last night. And so I figured I would go out and hunt for some, and it took me about 3.5 minutes to find some. So, because as you can see, we're camping in primarily a pine forest. So it should be too hard to find, and here we go. So I found a dead pine tree on the ground, clearly from a fire, probably a prescribed fire or whatever. And I just cut into it a little bit, see what we would get. And started to see in the bacon color, so that should be some. So let's cut into it and see what we got. So I can tell by the dust that, and can you smell it? Here, take a whiff, smell it.
Okay, yeah. So each of these little...
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's not the best, but it's kind of sticky. It's not that great actually, but it'll work. How long you want it. Well, quite a bit of time's passed. It was raining on and off earlier, quite a bit. And so I'm starting here. I carved a little owl, very similar to the one that Doug Linker did a tutorial on, just a couple little changes on it. Mostly I didn't like the way my horn ear things were turning out, so I cut them off to do a round head, kind of like the logo. And yeah, I'm pleased with it. So I did a gnome and an owl today, both very quick. I guess I could have done something a little more detailed if I knew I was going to spend so much time on carving, which I didn't anticipate. But a few more people have shown up since then. Most of the group went out to a swimming location. I elected to stay so the people that were coming in would, you know, have people here at camp. And yeah, looks like the rain might be clearing up for the rest of the day, hopefully the rest of the night. So we can actually do a little bit of night hiking. Like I said, it was raining on and off last night, and I elected to go to bed last night instead of night hiking, and it started pouring right after that, so that worked out well. But we're hoping for a different outcome tonight, So then we have some big dinner plans for the group, and probably, you know, being it's Saturday night, so trips over tomorrow, probably a lot of hanging out, having fun. But I'm gonna try to get some Bigfoot stuff in, because that was one of the things I wanted to do on this trip, and I just haven't really so much. Done a lot of tree knocks and some few Bigfoot calls, but not too much really on camera, just kind of, you know, playing around, hanging out with people and talking. So but that's what these trips are about. It's what I always say when I'm out on these trips with friends. It's about hanging out with friends. But you know, this is Ocala. It's a big forest. If there are Bigfoot here, maybe we'll get some action. There's a leaf, because I have to fidget with things. But yeah, I hope to do some of that. And I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do in the meantime. I have water, I don't need to eat. I've done some carvings, kind of just waiting on people to get back and hang out. So Sean Rewild's over there, he has a drone, he's playing with that. And he spent about 5 to 6 minutes showing it to me, and I'm already really jealous and want one myself. So if you have any suggestions for drones, drop me a link in the comments. I might have to start looking into that. And my good friend Sean Fitzgibbons is over there. He was one of the ones I was waiting on. He's getting set up. And my buddy Brian Sciarda is hiking in now, I think. I thought he'd be here already. I should probably check my Facebook messages, but I thought he'd be here by now. But yeah, so a lot of people still coming in. We have a pretty big group this time for our Florida Bushcraft meetup. That's a hike-in camp. Usually we only get this amount of people when it's a car camping situation, so this is definitely, obviously, way cooler than a car camp situation. And it's still pretty easy, you know, with it only being like a 20-30 minute hike out here. You know, people can still make it. I mean, people have like their children out here, so I'm definitely gonna have to bring my kid out here sometime. So it's beautiful, it's just wide open. Camping in the pine forest is just awesome. So, and Eli says there's like a really awesome giant prairie just like right over there. So I'm hoping to go out there, especially tonight, for you know, some Bigfoot calls and stuff. You know, because sound will travel across the prairie. See if we get any answers. So I'm hoping. Also, another reason for doing it tonight is, you know, my theory for last night with all the rain and everything, the animals may have been hunkering down, including potential Bigfoot. So maybe tonight, if it's not raining, maybe they'll be more active because they had to hunker down last night. I have no idea. I'm definitely not a Bigfoot specialist or even a researcher. I'm just kind of curious, and I was kind of have fun with the whole thing. So that's really the only reason why I'm doing it, is because it's kind of fun. So, and like I said earlier, some of my friends are full believers. I'm pretty sure my buddy Sean has a full-on story of seeing one. So that should be pretty interesting. We'll get that on a video later. So some plans, no big plans. And if we end up doing nothing and just kind of sitting around hanging out with our friends, that's still an amazing time. That's great. So yeah, we're gonna do that. All right, it's starting to get dark. We have a big group dinner on. Mosquitoes are getting out. And I ended up popping down for like a short, like 10-15 minute nap. Just kind of recoup. It's kind of hot today. And but yeah. Like I said, sun's going down, and I think tonight it's gonna get pretty fun. So once again, hoping to do a night hike with some of these guys back here. See if we can get some Bigfoot action. So I started doing owl calls already, and that's gonna lead into Bigfoot calls. So if you ever camped with me, you probably heard the story of when I was a kid. I would go into the woods with my grandfather, and he showed me how to call owls. And they would like call back to him and like eventually fly over to like where we were, and I always thought it was cool. And sometimes it works, and sometimes they just straight up ignore me. But either way, I like doing it. Makes me feel cool. And but yeah, once again, those owl calls are gonna turn into Bigfoot calls real quick. That, and I need to find a good stick to bang against trees for tree knocks. And we'll see how it goes. But dinner tonight, we have a big communal pot of some kind of crawfish boil. I know there's crawfish, shrimp, potatoes, corn, like all kinds of cool stuff in it, courtesy of James. So that's gonna be amazing. So anyway, I'm gonna drink some water and go hang out with the people, and I'll keep you updated if anything cool happens.
Well, now you get. Yeah. Yeah. Once you get to a certain age and it gets too cold. So you would have to feed I was just imagining the implants. Yeah.
They're going straight up.
So my question is you live out here in Ocala, what kind of large animal activity have you seen?
Got a fire.
Lately, a lot of bear activity for this area.
How many bears?
I've recently seen as many as 3 of them going down our driveway on our trail camera.
Okay.
Occasionally I've run across a mother and a cub though.
Okay.
In various places.
You mentioned some deer earlier also?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the
So.
hunters are chasing them out of the other areas. And the areas around my cabin are sort of protected for hunting.
So between the deer and the bears, you would say that there's a good amount of food out here for larger type animals?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the ones I see, they all look healthy. You know, I mean I haven't seen a skinny one yet. So.
Right. You're not feeding the bears McDonald's or anything like that?
Oh no.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try to throw a picture in that you gave me of some of the bears you saw on your trail cam. So,
Okay.
I think that's proof that larger animals can exist. Obviously, Ocala is a giant place, so it would be surprising if they couldn't exist. But the fact that we have picture proof, aside from like eyewitnesses, I think goes a long way. So.
Well, I mean, it's like on a bear. Have you ever seen a bear skeleton out in the woods?
That's true. I haven't.
Usually they go somewhere to die if they can, you know,
Right.
and hide away. So if there's other creatures that were big and wanted to remain hidden, I think they could.
Yeah, you know, since you bring that up, I've actually never found a deer skeleton or a hog skeleton or any of the large animals really.
Yeah.
So Sean, you're pretty much an avid outdoorsman like myself.
Yes.
Any Bigfoot experiences?
One definitely that comes to mind that I had happen to us was a friend of mine coming back from the Swanee River. He and I, on the trip back, stopped off in, I believe it's Gulf Hammock. There's a old train there. And we stopped to look at the train because we had never seen the train engine, and then we're walking around the back of it where there was a swamp, and in that swamp area I saw something standing by a palmetto bush and snapped a picture with an old flip phone, and it was in the picture, and then when I went and looked back at it, it wasn't there anymore, and so I snapped a second picture of it and had it on my old flip phone. Of course, they were horrible pictures and the typical blurry, smudgy. You couldn't get a better picture than that picture, but yeah, they were 2 different pictures and it was gone. And it appeared to be about a 5.5, maybe 6.5 foot juvenile, maybe, I don't know. But
Juvenile Bigfoot?
yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
And
you're pretty sure it wasn't, say, like a small bear standing up or anything?
No, it was not a small bear. I know what a bear looks like.
You've been an avid outdoorsman for several years at this point, right?
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
you've seen bears, you know what bears look like.
Paddled all over, been
Okay.
around them in the woods, on riverbanks. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know what they look like. This was not a bear. In any case, yeah, it had disappeared from near the palmetto bush where it was at, and never saw it again after that, but just an interesting experience. And then one other one that we had happen years ago when I was a kid was a pair of eyes that were probably 8 to 8.5 feet up in the air, and on a property across from ours in North Florida in the Swanee region, and stuff being thrown at the RV and camper we were in. Our parents were down the road about maybe 1.5 miles, and stuff thrown at the camper, and so my brother ended up taking off running down towards where the parents were at to try and get them, and there was something running through the woods, he said, the whole time, kind of with him. And so, I mean, he could hear branches snapping and footsteps and, you know, crashing through the palmettos and stuff. And so that's another one that comes to mind, yeah. So 2 for sure.
And so, in your opinion, in Ocala National Forest, do you think it'd be possible for, because it wouldn't be just one Bigfoot, one skunk ape, one Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it. It would have to be, you know, a small population, at least a family, to be able to, you know, sustain and not die out. Do you think Ocala could support something like that?
The only thing I would say to that is look how many bears there are.
Right.
I mean, it's supporting that many bears. Now you could give the same argument. Well, if there's that many bears, there's probably not that many Sasquatch, and that's probably true. But could there be a small population coexisting with the bears because there is enough food and they support all the bears?
Right.
Sure. Possibly.
Now, so I've been hiking and camping with you several times now, and you know more. I know a significant amount about plants, but you know even more. And the fact that both of us can just kind of walk down a trail and pick out stuff we can eat. Now imagine that you're an animal that doesn't have to be as picky as we do as humans. Is that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's food everywhere.
Cool. We're gonna do a night hike tonight. Look for Bigfoot.
Sure, if you want to.
Killer.
I'm game.
All right, cool.
All right.
So you're Sean from Rewild Outdoors. Would you consider yourself an avid outdoorsman?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you ever had any Bigfoot experiences?
The only one I have is an experience I had at Jennings State Forest over close to Jacksonville. And I'll be honest with you, it took me a while to even talk about it because when you talk about Bigfoot stories, people have a tendency to think you're a little crazy. So I was a little hesitant to even tell the story. But I'll go ahead and tell you, and this is exactly how it happened, and take it for what it's worth. So I was hiking in from an area, I can't remember the names right off the top of my head, but I was heading from one point to Indian Ford. That was my stopping point. That's where I was going to go. And it was just a little day hike. And, you know,
when was this?
This was last year. I don't remember exactly when last year. It was in the spring, I believe.
Okay.
But, you know, I've got the YouTube channel, and I was hiking along, holding my camera, and talking to the camera. Well, I kind of got to there was a crossroads in the trail, and the trail kind of turns into a little fire lane right there, and then it turns back into the trail. So I'm walking along, talking to the camera, and I just got done talking to the camera, and immediately I got this, I can only explain it like a dumpster juice smell, if that makes any sense. It's like riding behind a garbage truck or something. And so I'm cruising or walking along, and I smell this smell. And I stop and I look up, and I'm at that fire lane, and probably, I don't know, 100 yards or so on the back side of that fire lane, there were like big palmetto bushes. And I stop and I look up, and I see this thing standing behind these palmetto bushes. These are big palmetto bushes. So this thing is standing behind it. And I'm like literally making eye contact with this thing, and I thought, oh crap, it's a bear. But then it turned and walked off, and it didn't drop down like a bear would, you know, it just turned and walked off, and I was like, crap, man, I think I might have seen something, you know. And so I'm talking myself out of it, like, oh, you're crazy, it was a bear, whatever, you know. And I'm literally sitting there trying to talk myself out of it. So I head on down the trail a little further, and there's a spot on that part of the trail on the way to Indian Ford. It says high water crossing, and there's a little sign. And the creek at that point was only this wide. It was barely a trickle. But I glanced up to see where you would cross if the water was high. And this thing was standing between two trees. And immediately again I had that smell. And I was like, oh man, that is freaking crazy. I'm standing there looking at it. And it turned and walked behind the tree, and it was gone. And it's funny because when I got to Indian Ford, I was feeling terrible, like absolutely terrible. And I was filtering water and drinking water, and I absolutely felt terrible. And so I was sitting there cooling off, hanging out, making my video. And I hear thunder, and I look up, and the sky's kind of turning dark. And I'm like, crap, now I've got to walk back through these woods in the rain with the storm coming. And so on my way back, I get to a curve right there in sort of that same area. And I almost got run over by 3 or 4 does. And I was like, oh man, I must have spooked them. And then it dawned on me that if I had spooked the does, they wouldn't have run in front of me, they would have run away from me. And I was like, oh crap. So I turned and looked, and sure enough, this thing was standing right there. And when I turned my head to look at it, I could smell that freaking dumpster smell again. And I know it sounds crazy, and for the longest time I didn't tell anybody but my wife about the story. But I smelled that freaking dumpster smell, and this thing turned and walked back into the woods. I never felt like the thing was like, you know, after me or anything like that. But it was in that area, and it like twice I saw it on the way in, and then I saw it again on the way out. And that's the last time I saw it. But I can tell you this, in my opinion, there is 0% chance that that thing could be a bear or a human. Just not at all. Now my wife was like, well, what kind of features does it have, or why didn't you get video of it? Well, half the time I don't even get video of deer that cross the trail or anything like that, because it happens so fast, you know. And she immediately said, well, did you go over there and see if there was footprints? No, I did not. As soon as I saw this thing, I was getting the heck away from it. I did not walk over to see if there was footprints. But like I said, that's all I can say, is that it was not a human. It was not a bear. The thing walked off on 2 feet. It smelled like a dumpster, and I don't have, like, you hear people say, oh, I've got all these like descriptive features of this thing. It was big, it was dark colored. Part of the problem is the section that I was hiking in is all canopied, really. So it was kind of dark in there anyway, so I really don't have a good like view of the thing. All I know is what I saw, and it was not a human, it wasn't a bear. That's all I got.
If it had like dark skin or something too, it would have made those features harder.
Yeah, if it had darker skin, it definitely had, like, I would say it had hair. But like I said, I don't have like a real vivid image of it in my mind, as far as like, okay, it had wide eyes, and I don't have any of that. I saw this thing, it freaked me out, and then it turned and walked away. Yeah. That's the best I can do for you. That's all I got. But that's my Bigfoot encounter.
That's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, and
you were by yourself, you said?
I was absolutely by myself, and just hiking in.
Yep. The thing, you know.
The scary thing is, like, on the way back, is I knew I had to walk through that same area when it was getting dark and it was starting to rain, so that kind of freaked me out a little bit more. But the thing that really got me is the fact that I smelled that smell all 3 times.
Right.
And you know, in that area, you're miles away from anything. And there's no reason why you should have had that smell in there. And that's the only way I can describe it, as a dumpster smell. Like, I don't know, it's just like hot garbage, you know?
Garbage, yeah.
Yeah.
So what about here in Ocala? Do you think Ocala National Forest is the type of environment that could support, say, like a family of something like that?
I don't see why they couldn't, because you have plenty of water sources. This place is huge. There's so much of this area that, for one thing, there's so much of this area that's blocked off. You know as well as I do. There's a lot of this area that's blocked off that we can't even get to, right, or you wouldn't even go to because it's so far off the trail. And there's water sources. There's plenty of like food in the area. I don't see any reason why there couldn't be a whole family of them out here, you know. I mean, in my opinion, yeah, this area could definitely hold them.
Cool.
You're going to love it. Here.
We haven't had hot sauce.
Oh, we have hot sauce. Who else has hot sauce?
So, James made us some amazing crawfish boil, so And it's got like potatoes and stuff.
Welcome. Now
It's really hot.
on the car.
Really damn.
Really hot.
The tail.
I got Rewild over here sitting next to me.
All the meat's in the tail.
We're gonna go find Bigfoot later, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to find Bigfoot.
Maybe Bigfoot wants to find you. That's what you tell kids before they go to bed in the woods, right?
Them potatoes are like molten hot lava.
Yeah, they are.
Potatoes.
It's like liquid hot magma. Sean, why don't you do a Bigfoot call?
Probably.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay, I'll perform. Wait, what do we hear?
Sounds like walking over there in the water.
How far away is the water?
Pretty far away.
Whoa! What'd you hear? Anything?
I think it sounds like there's something over there, but I don't know what. Probably a sandhill crane. He's just trying to hang out.
I got a whistle. Alright, blow the whistle. I hear it in the water.
Could just be frogs.
Right here.
What are you talking about?
So you guys heard tree knocks?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
More
Yeah,
like it was more
Johnny.
like it was more like thumping.
What'd it sound like?
It was like a deep thumping, like boom boom.
Yeah.
I mean, sounded more like, I don't know, almost like if it was the earth instead of a tree knock. You know, I don't know.
Subterranean Bigfoot.
Or was it 2 or was it 3 knocks? Right, like
Three.
boom boom boom. Or super
Not
deep
that I heard him or anything.
out in the distance.
Allegedly.
You heard him?
I heard.
If I did
Yeah.
heard him, it would have been 3.
What'd it sound like to you?
But sounds like, if I was gonna guess, it sounded like somebody knocking on one of these trees 3 times, way off in the distance over there somewhere. It sounded like 2 and then 1 closely after. Doop doop doop.
Maybe we should.
Literally.
You can,
Yeah.
after a certain age, you can never trust a fart.
Never trust a fart.
And never trust a ball.
My son, the first time he had diarrhea.
That's it.
So I think it's going to do it for this weekend. Last night was pretty uneventful, except for a few people said they heard tree knocks. So when we hiked out, one group hiked out farther and they heard tree knocks in the distance that way. But people here at camp heard tree knocks in a different direction. So where I was, I didn't hear either of them. But yeah, they said they did. So and we didn't do any tree knocks ourselves. So it definitely wasn't us, like, you know, our group or the other group doing them. So we just did, you know, those few howls and everything. Nothing much happened, but either way, real good weekend with the crew. Again, it's always a good time with these guys. So on Florida Bushcraft on Facebook. So you're on Facebook, check it out if you like this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, some people are packing up, some people are hanging out. I'm all packed up, Tim's all packed up, and we're about to do the arduous 20-minute hike back to the truck, and then the actual arduous 2-hour drive back to home. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.